All right, everybody, I want to talk about something that just broke about 24 hours ago. It's a really sad story. It involves the death of a person. So I want to treat this story with as much respect as I can, but I do think it's worthy of bringing up and speaking about because of where technology is going today, especially with self-driving vehicles and especially related to Tesla vehicles. So let me go ahead and bring up this article that was posted by the Washington Post in the last 24 hours. This story, the headline, Tesla worker killed in fiery crash, may be first full self-driving fatality. Evidence suggests the advanced driver assistance system was engaged during fatal crash that killed a recruiter Hans von Ohain in 2022. Of course, my condolences go to the family. This is obviously just a terrible situation for anybody to be involved in any sort of car accident. But the way this story was framed by the Washington Post, I think highlights some of the challenges that self-driving technology is going to have in the next decade, mainly because anything that has self-driving and something terrible happening in the same realm or the same neighborhood, media is going to use that to drive a lot of traffic to their websites or to their publications. Now, a little bit of background on the story. There were two friends that were going to play golf, and on the way back, the car crashed. It had a terrible fiery crash, and that one person, that Tesla employee, died in that crash. And based on a recent interview that the Washington Post did with the other person that survived the crash, Mr. Roseter, he said that he believes von Ohain, who's the driver that died in this accident, was using full self-driving, which, if true, would make his death the first known fatality involving Tesla's most advanced driver assistant technology. Now, if we go further into the article, there is a piece that says that von Ohain and Rossiter had been drinking, and an autopsy found that von Ohain died with a blood alcohol level of 0.26, which is more than 3 times the legal limit, a level of intoxication that would have hampered his ability to maintain control of the car, experts say. Now, what I find very interesting about the story, unfortunately, again, this is a terrible thing to talk about, but I think it's very important to talk about within the context of where self-driving technology is going, is that in the headline, Tesla worker killed in fiery crash, maybe first full self-driving fatality, doesn't include anything about the driver being intoxicated. Of course, incredibly unfortunate, but I find that to be a pretty big piece of the puzzle here when reporting on this death. After the piece was published, this is Rohan Patel. Rohan is part of the Tesla policy and business development team for Tesla. He made a statement where he said, in this tragic case, we have no data evidence that any system was or was not enabled and have cooperated with authorities fully. So what we do know is that FSD beta software was not downloaded onto the car. Important to note that the regulators forced us to report an accident to NHTSA, even if we have verifiable evidence that the ADAS system was not enabled. And so what I find interesting here, again, the unfortunate piece of this conversation here is that a Tesla, which has advanced driver assistance features, was involved in the crash, which that's the first thing that's going to drive a lot of eyeballs to the story. The second is that self-driving may have been enabled in the system based on the evidence that they gather from the person who survived the crash. So that's the second thing that's going to drive the story to be viewed by many. And the third one is that, unfortunately, again, horrible thing here, somebody died supposedly because of those technologies. But if we take Tesla to their word, the car was never equipped with the full self-driving technology. Now, they may have been using the autopilot system, which the autopilot system is, think of it as a very advanced cruise control system with lane keep. But under any of those software pieces on Tesla's website, if I go to their website, autopilot, enhanced autopilot, and full self-driving capability are intended for use with a fully attentive driver who has their hands on the wheel and is prepared to take over at any moment. While these features are designed to become more capable over time, the currently enabled features do not make the vehicle autonomous. In addition to that, there was some commentary from Elon Musk as well. This is a post from Tesla owner Silicon Valley on X. Fred Lambert, who is one of the head writers for Electrek, is spreading fake news. The person in question was 3 times above the legal limit of alcohol, which means you can intervene if necessary. Also, it hasn't been confirmed whether FSD, full self-driving, was engaged. And then Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, replied to that post saying he was not an FSD. The software had unfortunately never been downloaded. I say unfortunately because the accident probably would not have happened if FSD had been engaged. The overarching point here that I really want to highlight, which is, again, it sucks. I hate that I have to talk about this honestly, but I feel like I I have to talk about it because it sort of falls in the realm of media. And having been doing YouTube for a little while, having been, looking at how legacy media, mainstream media, independent media likes to push certain pieces and articles to drive attention, especially related to Tesla and anything Elon Musk as of late. This kind of recipe, I believe, it's probably just the beginning, and it doesn't matter how dark the outcome is. Now, as somebody that is a huge fan of self-driving technology, somebody that thinks that in the long term, this thing is going to be truly game changing and it's going to reduce the amount of accidents we have and the fatalities we have from this technology. This is not a surprising thing that I see developing now. It kind of reminds me of back when, let's say Tesla in this case, because we'll use them as an example, was ramping their Model 3 vehicle, which was their first truly mass market vehicle, for about a couple of years' time until that model became successful and it started selling in the hundreds of thousands. There were a lot of stories running that were pointed to, hey, this is not going to happen. This is a massive failure. The company is going to go bankrupt. People think the cars are junk, so on and so forth. Now, it seems like I'm seeing the beginnings of the same exact trend happening with the self-driving technology as it gains more and more popularity, as more and more people use it, as more and more miles are used with self-driving technology. And unfortunately for companies like Tesla and Elon Musk, who are huge keywords for media publications to drive eyeballs to their work, and until it becomes commonplace and accepted by everybody, this type of content, this type of news reports will be extremely popular to run. And now we have proof that it doesn't matter how dark the story is, the stories will get run. I personally think the benefits for this technology are too good to pass up, but there's going to be a huge transition as far as change goes and acceptance by society. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching.